key felt like a final, unanswered question in Elara's palm. It had arrived at her apartment with no note, no return address, just a single line scribbled on the envelope. For the lock you've always known was there. And she did know. For 20 years, since she was found as a child with no memory, a single feeling had clung to her, that her life was a book with the first chapter torn out. This key felt like it could unlock the box that held the missing pages. Her search led her to Blackwood Manor, a crumbling estate on the city's edge. The heavy oak door groaned open at her touch, as if it had been expecting her. The air inside was thick with dust and silence. Her flashlight beam cut through the gloom, illuminating a grand foyer where a layer of dust lay over everything like a shroud. Yet, in the center of the marble floor, a single path had been recently swept clean. Someone else is here. The thought was a cold trickle down her spine. The first hook came in the library. On a large, mildewed desk, a single modern photograph stood in a pristine frame. It was of her, taken just last week. A scrawled note beneath it read, "Do you remember now?" This was no random haunting. It was a game orchestrated by someone who knew her. As she backed away, her shoulder brushed a bookcase, and a hidden panel clicked open. A narrow passageway, dark and smelling of damp earth, descended into the house's foundation. The mystery was deepening. The second hook was a sound. A faint, melodic humming drifted from the darkness below. It was a lullaby that had haunted the edges of her dreams for 2 decades. Courage flared within her. She had to follow. The descent led her to a subterranean chamber. In the center, a lone chair faced away from her, the source of the humming, an elderly woman with silver hair. "Elara," the woman said, her voice echoing the melody's sadness. "You took your time." She turned, revealing a face that was a weathered mirror of Elara's own. "I've been waiting for you to come home." This was the climax. The woman claimed to be her grandmother, the last keeper of Blackwood's shame, who had sent the key to finally tell her the truth about the fire that claimed her parents, a fire set to bury a terrible secret. The final twist came not from her words, but from her hands. As she spoke of forgiveness, her fingers worried the edge of a small embroidered handkerchief. The embroidery was distinct, a stylized raven with one eye missing. Elara's blood ran cold. In her fractured flashbacks, that exact symbol was on the cuff of the sleeve that had led her away from the burning house, to abandonment. The kindly face was a lie. This woman wasn't a grieving grandmother. She was the architect of Elara's loss. She hadn't brought Elara here to reveal the past, but to silence the one witness who had finally come too close to the truth. The key in Elara's hand was not for unlocking the past, but for locking the door on a future her grandmother had never intended her to have. If you were drawn into the shadows of Blackwood Manor, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And hit the bell icon to join us as we unravel more mysteries where nothing is as it seems.